My vagina is a shell, a round, tender shell, opening and closing, closing and opening. My vagina is a flower, an exotic hibiscus. Scent delicate, the center acute and deep, petals gentle but sturdy. I didn't always know that. I learned this from the woman who runs the Vagina Workshop, a woman who believes in vaginas, a woman who sees vaginas, a woman who helps other women see their vaginas by looking at other women's vaginas. In the first session, the woman who runs the workshop asked us to draw a picture of her own unique, fabulous, beautiful vagina. That's what she called it. She wanted to know what our own unique, fabulous vagina looked like to us. She wanted one woman who was pregnant, drew a big red mouth, screaming with corn spilling out. Another very skinny woman drew a big round platter with a Devonshire kind of pattern on it. I drew a huge black dot with squiggly lines around it. The black dot was equal to a black hole in space, and the squiggly lines were meant to be people or things or just basic atoms that got lost there. I'd always thought of my vagina as an anatomical vacuum randomly sucking up particles and objects from the surrounding environment. I didn't think of my vagina in practical or biological terms. I didn't, for example, see it as something attached to me. In the workshop, we were asked to look at our vaginas with hand mirrors. Then, after careful examination, we were to verbally report to the group what we saw. I must tell you that up until this moment, everything I knew about my vagina was hearsay or invention. I'd never really seen the thing. And it never occurred to me to look at it. My vagina existed for me on some abstract plane. It seemed so reductive and awkward looking at it like we were in a workshop, on our blue mats, with our hand mirrors. It reminded me of how the early astronomers must have felt about their primitive telescopes. I found it quite unsettling at first, my vagina. Like the first time you see a fish cut open and you discover there's other bloody, complex world inside, right under the skin. It was so raw, so red, so fresh. And the thing that surprised me the most was all the layers. Layers inside layers, opening into more layers. My vagina amazed me. I couldn't speak when it came my turn in the workshop. I was speechless. I had awakened to what the woman who ran the workshop calls vaginal wonder. I just want to lay there on my mat, my legs spread, examining my vagina forever. It was better than the Grand Canyon, full of ancient. It had the innocence and freshness of a proper English garden. It was funny, very funny. It made me laugh. It could hide and seek, open and close. Then the woman who ran the workshop asked how many women had had orgasms. 2 women tentatively raised their hands. I didn't raise my hands, but I had had orgasms. They happened to me. They happened in my dreams, and I would awake in splendor. They happen a lot in water, mostly in baths. Once in Half Moon Bay. They happen on horses, on bicycles, sometimes on the treadmill at the gym. I didn't raise my hands because although I had had orgasms, I didn't know how to make one happen. I thought it was mystical, magical. I didn't want to interfere. It felt wrong getting involved, contrived, manipulative. It felt Hollywood the surprise would be gone and the mystery. The problem, of course, was that the surprise had been gone for 2 years. I hadn't had a magical accident in a long time, and I was frantic. That's why I was in the vagina workshop. And then the moment had arrived that I both dreaded and longed for. The woman who ran the workshop asked us to take out our hand mirrors again and see if we could find our clitoris. There we were, the group of women, all on our backs, on our mats, searching for our spots, our locus, our reason. And I don't know why, but I started crying. Maybe it was sheer embarrassment. Maybe it was knowing that I would have to give up the fantasy, the enormous life-consuming fantasy that someone or something was going to do this for me. The fantasy that someone was going to come to lead my life, to choose direction, to give me orgasms. I could feel the panic coming. The simultaneous terror and realization that I had avoided finding my clitoris had rationalized it as mainstream and consumerist because I was, in fact, terrified that I didn't have one. Terrified that I was one of those constitutionally incapables, cold, frigid, dead, shut down, dry, apricot, tasting bitter. Oh God. I lay there with my mirror looking for my spot, reaching with my fingers, and all I could think about was the time when I was 10 and lost my golden emerald ring in the sea. How I kept diving over and over to the bottom of the sea, running my hands over turtle grass and rocks and fish and slimy stuff, but never my ring. The panic I felt, I knew I would be punished. The woman who ran the workshop saw my insane scrambling, sweating, and heavy breathing. She came over. I told her, it's gone. I've lost my clitoris. I shouldn't have worn it swimming. The woman who ran the workshop laughed. She calmly explained to me my clitoris wasn't something I could lose. It was me, she said, the essence of me. It was both the doorbell to my house and the house itself. I didn't have to find it. I had to be it. Be it. Be my clitoris. I laid back and closed my eyes. I put the mirror down. I watched myself floating about myself. I watched as I slowly began to approach myself and re-enter. I felt like an astronaut re-entering the Earth's surface. It was a quiet re-entry, quiet and gentle. I bounced and landed, landed and bounced. I came into my own muscles and blood and cells, and then I slid into my vagina. It was suddenly easy and I fit. I was all warm and pulsing and ready and young and alive. And then, without looking, with my eyes still closed, I put my finger on what had suddenly become me. There was a little quivering at first, which urged me to stay. Then the quivering became an earthquake, an eruption, the layers dividing and subdividing. The quake broke into an ancient horizon of light and silence, which opened onto a plane of music and colors and innocence and longing. And I felt connection, calling connection, as I lay there trashing about on my blue mat. My vagina is a shell, a hibiscus, a destination. I'm arriving as I'm beginning to leave my vagina, me.